chat, we're gonna go over the top 5 gods that I enjoy playing right now, plus their builds. So these are things that I'm just playing in ranked, that I'm having fun with, that are also, I think, pretty good. So that's kind of want to make a video on it, so you guys can learn how to build these characters and maybe try them out in Soul Lane. So this isn't the top 5 characters in the game, and it's not even the top 5 characters that I'll play like in SPL or like in scrims and stuff like that. This is just purely ranked, and I guess casuals if you want to play it there too. And maybe I'd be playing in SPL, but for the most part, it's just like what I enjoy playing right now for whatever reason. One way or the other, they're just characters that I am having fun with, right? So at number 5, I have Chalk. Actually been having a lot of fun with Chalk. The new Bluestone, which you cannot type in, of course. We all know this. We all know this. Here, let's go right here. Can't type it in, even though I just tried. For some reason it goes down. Yeah, Bluestone on Chalk is awesome. It's insane. I mean, with your passive, even though you only have 2 base abilities that do damage, with your passive, the cooldown reduction for your 1 and your 2, and of course, you know, having blue buff, you just can actually spam those pretty hard. And it helps out your early game clear really well. And it also is just like really good in the mid game when you rotate over as Chalk and are unkillable. The build for him, I've been really liking boots into shifters. I like going more of a bruiser build, kind of like similar to like a Wukong, where you go majority damage on Chalk. And no troll, something I really enjoyed on Chalk when I built it was Ansile, or not Ansile, it was Ichabod. I thought Ichabod actually felt really nice on Chalk. Even though he's not an attack speed character, you can actually get a lot of autos off in the team fight when you're just sticking to people, especially the ADC with your 3. And something to keep in mind is that even though items don't stack anymore, auto attack speed reduction items like Ichabod, Horrific, Frostbound, those don't stack. Witchblade. What does stack is an item with an ability. So your 3 does stack with Ichabod, indeed. So it actually kind of makes sense on him. And of course, you just round out usually with like a Void Shield. Void Shield's kind of like the go-to. Like last item most of the time. The problem is you're gonna have to worry about crit in the majority of your games, so you probably want to sell your boots for Spectral in this scenario, and then of course upgrade your Bluestone when you can to the Bluestone Brooch, not Corrupted Bluestone. Do not go Corrupted Bluestone, even though it could work on Chalk. If you're building something like Ichabod, you don't really want to go it, and for the most part, Bluestone's just better because it gives you 200 health, which is nice for defensive stats, and the passive will amount to more damage. So I actually do like Ichabod on him. And remember, this build or this video is about like what I'm having fun with and what is also kind of viable and you can try out. So that's why I would say something like Ichabod. But if you're purely just playing to win the game and you're, you know, maybe not too comfortable on like, I don't know, something like a pure damage item like Ichabod, then something like Cad Shield or Pridwin can kind of be your go-to defense item here, like Cad Shield, Pridwin. If you're against like a double mage, say they have an Ao Kuang jungle or like a Hebo jungle and then a mage mid, and you can't only have Ansile if you're only defense, you probably want to go something like Talisman of Energy or Pestilence if they have any healing. Pestilence is a very good pure magic defense item because it gives you 250 health and 80 magical prot, so that's pretty insane for your only magical defense item. So yeah, that's how I would build Chalk right now. Pretty good. And of course, usually I'd go Blink Beads on him. If they have they're lacking CC across the board, then maybe you can go something like Blink Horrific, Blink Thorns even, or if you're not even, you don't even really want to go that, you can maybe just go TP and kind of hard stomp the early game if they have no CC, but a lot of the time they should have CC, so Beads is definitely an option for you. So another character at number 4 that I've been enjoying a lot lately is Nike. Nike's not the most fun character in the game, but what I do think is really fun with her lately, typed it in again, is the fact that she has 4 damaging abilities, right? So she procs Bluestone on all of them. But also the build is different now. So you used to go either like Tank Boots, Teleria Boots, or Warrior Tabi into Mystical and just go a bunch of health, like Talisman of Energy next. But what I think is better actually right now is going a Bruiser build on her. Something like a Glad Shield straight into a Void Shield. So both these items give you health, but they also give you a ton of damage, right? These both give you, this gives you 20 power, this gives you 25 power, and they both give you a lot of damage in their passives. This gives you extra damage on abilities. This gives you your extra pen. So you're also getting health from these items, so your ult is more efficient. You know, you get more health from the return of the shield. And then you can honestly go Ansile straight into Talisman of Energy here. That's what I love about this this character in this build, is that You get your physical defense that you need right now, right here, and then you can round it out with the upgraded bluestone and then selling your boots for spectral. A lot of the times, if you're behind, you may have to go spectral here instead of talisman of energy and then sell your boots for talisman of energy. It just kind of depends. Like, Nike's pretty good at dealing with the ADC even without spectral, but you know, if he is a problem, then you want to get your spectral here instead and then get talisman of energy there. And you're just a really tanky character with this build. You'll do a lot of damage with your bluestone upgraded and both these items. Glad Shield, Void Shield is a very, very big combo because the pen you get from Void Shield is going to help you do even more damage from the Glad Shield passive, and just, you know, your ability's hitting really hard plus your bluestone and everything. Like, just a really, really nice build. And I promise you, when you have these 3 items, as long as they don't have like a Sunder and like I don't know, just like a ton of CC just interrupting all of your abilities, when you rotate over to a mid game fight, like a mid heartbeat fight or even gold fear or anything like that, you are going to do so much damage with this build and be very, very hard to kill. Let's say they have double magical, they have a magical jungle and a magical mid laner. Then maybe you want to go something like Pestilence or Talisman of Energy here because it's going to give you a lot more protections. You can't really get away with just going Ansel here into 2 mages because they're going to hit you very hard. So you'd rather go the tankier magical defense item first and then go Ansel after that. Ansel falls off a little bit late game, but it still gets value. The 60 POW you're getting from it is still going to be really, really good late game. It is getting nerfed in the next patch, but I still think it'll be a pretty good item, so you don't really have to worry about it, the build changing too much. And then, of course, your relics are going to be blink beads almost always. I think with these builds, whenever you're going like these bruiser builds that have a lot more damage, you kind of want to have some CC immunity in your relics so you can actually get away from them, so that, you know, since you're not as tanky, you want to buy more time in the backline so you can get more abilities off, just because you might get one shot a little bit harder than you would with a pure health build on something like Nike. And one thing I will say about a build like this is it doesn't get countered by Sunder as hard because you have a lot more damage in your builds. You're kind of just using your ult to just blink initiate, get that damage off, and then immediately go into your other abilities and hopefully do a ton of damage with it. So you don't get countered as hard. That's one thing I say. Another thing is you can actually maybe even go Aegis. I know it sounds crazy, but blink Aegis on Nike, I've been testing it a little bit, and I think it could work just because you can actually Aegis the Sunder, and it will prevent your shield from being taken away if you Aegis the Sunder. If you do it perfectly, it's kind of hard to do, but at the same time, if you just blink ult and Aegis and just like buy time and let their Guardian just sit there and stare at you while your team like helps you dive or whatever, if your team is helping you dive, then it actually isn't that bad. So it's kind of troll though, so I wouldn't completely recommend it, but it's something that you definitely could try. So yeah, that's Nike at number 4. Then on Vamana, or at number 3, I have Vamana. This is actually not the build, this is an old build, but it's actually kind of similar to the build. The first 2 items are the same basically. So Bluestone on Vamana as well. I keep typing it in even though you can't do that. Yeah, I think Bluestone's actually really sick on Vamana. He also has 3 damaging abilities in his base, like his first 3 abilities. So you're actually proccing this nonstop. Bluestone's just amazing. It's the go-to item in general right now just because it gives you so much damage in the early to mid game just for clearing PvE or for fighting PvP, or it also has good defensive stats because it has 20 HP 5. So if you just sit there, clear the wave, and kind of sit in your tower, you're actually going to be healing a lot from that 20 HP 5 plus your chalice and everything else. So it's honestly pretty sick. So actually, I said it's not the same build, but the first 3 items are pretty much the same. It's Ninja Tabi, Breastplate, Talisman of Energy. You are very, very tanky with this. You can hyper farm the map because your Bluestone and Ninja Tabi will carry you as you just run around the map. You have the CDR from Blue Buff plus Breastplate, so you just have a ton of CDR, basically max if you have it upgraded. And you can just run around, dash to camps, dash to the wave, throw out your 3, full clear, run over, hit the back camps. You just insta clear everything and run around the map and do whatever you want, really. An item I still like on Vamana that you can definitely try out. You don't have to go it, but I still like going Frostband on him. The Ninja Tabi, the reason you go Ninja Tabi on Vamana is if you go something like Frostbound, you kind of want that extra attack speed so you can actually stick to them with your Frostbound slows. So that's kind of nice. And then you'd round out the build with a Spectral. Most of the time, upgrade your Bluestone and then sell Ninja Tabi for pretty much whatever you want. If you're keeping your Frostbound into the late game, you kind of want to have an attack speed. In Spanish? You kind of want to have an attack speed item here. So honestly, something like Executioner or Oboe as your replacement kind of works. Stone Cutting's also a viable option here. So if you go something like Ninja Tabi there and then go Stone Cutting 4th, the attack speed that you're getting from your Ninja Tabi and Talisman of Energy, it's going to allow you to stack Stone Cutting really fast. It's also giving you extra power on Vamana because Vamana's passive is physical protection conversion over to power. So this is also a pretty nice build. And then in this scenario, if I were to sell my Ninja Tabi, I would also go something with attack speed like Executioner. I personally do not think you should go Hasten Katana on Vamana really ever as a solo laner. So that's something to think about. I just don't think the movement speed you get from your Vamana ult should be enough, so it's fine. You can just go for that. Something you can do though is go Redstone on Vamana. Redstone Vamana I've been messing around with a little bit. It's kind of nice. I mean, you don't always hit multiple people with your abilities, which you kind of need to do for Redstone to get the max value, because you have to get 2 stacks of it. But I will say that specifically on Vamana, when you have the attack speed reduction on your 3 and you're hitting them with that, plus you get the corrupted bluestone attack speed reduction and you get attack speed from it, if you like hit them with your 3 and then go into your ult and you get all that attack speed from redstone or corrupted bluestone, then it can actually pop off in those late game scenarios. So if you were to have a build like Stone Cutting, Executioner, and you got a ton of attack speed from your corrupted bluestone, you would hit the ADC or the mage, whoever you're hitting, very, very hard, very, very fast. Emma, thank you for the 200 biddy. Says, Alec, can you buy Taco Bell in Spanish? Can I buy Taco Bell in Spanish? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Thank you for the 200 biddies, though. Moving on, number 2, we have Ratatasker. This is the only character maybe in this whole... Actually, maybe the last one, maybe we will not have the same build. You can go Bluestone on him. That is definitely a viable option. It's just kind of good every single game. But what I've been enjoying personally lately is going Eye of the Jungle and then going Protector of the Jungle late game. Because if you go a build like this, you go Glad Shield first item, then you go into your Void Shield. That's the Wombo combo we all know and love. You can go Shifters here. It's getting nerfed next patch. You could still go it. I personally think Glad Shield, Void Shield's better anyway. But if you go a build like this, Ansile, similar to the Nike build, and then go like whatever magical defense item you need here, maybe Pestilence if they have healing, maybe you go like a Talisman of Energy if you don't really have to worry about their magicals too much, which is in a lot of cases you don't. You can go Spectral here and then maybe sell your, actually you don't ever sell your Acorn on Rat, so you would just have your Acorn plus Protector of the Jungle, which you can't type in. I don't know, I just can't get used to it. I literally just can't. Is it not going to show me yet? Where is it? Do I have to exit out of it? Oh, I guess I had to exit out of it. So you got Protector of the Jungle late game, and of course your Acorn is always, I always, on Rat, I always go the Gray Acorn, the one with extra 10% prot and the extra 2. The reason being is it's a wombo combo with Protector of the Jungle because you're getting extra protections from this, and you have this nice bruiser build, so you're just gonna be really tanky. But also because of the 2. Just having two 2s is a really, really good in the mid to late game. You just do a lot of damage with it, and I think it actually ends up just being better for a bruiser build like this or for a tank build. Rat actually has a lot of options for his relics. I think Blink Beads is a pretty standard nice options for him. You can go Blink Thorns if they don't have a lot of CC. Thorns is still viable. It's not that great, but it's definitely still viable. Something you can also go is Blink Sunder or Bead Sunder if they have CC and you don't feel like you need Blink. You don't necessarily need Blink on Rat just because you can initiate with your dash into your ult. So that's something to think about. Also, another thing that I forgot to say is that Pridwin is a very good item on Rat. I kind of forgot about Pridwin. I actually probably would fit Pridwin in my build somehow, somewhere in here, just because it's such a nice item on him, probably his best item. So kind of forgot that part, but that's okay. So yeah, Blink Sunder, Bead Sunder, Blink Thorns, Beads Thorns. You can really get away with anything you want on Rat. It just kind of depends on the game, how much CC they have, what you're really going for. If they have like a Janus mid who's gonna not really be affected by your Thorns, you don't ever really want to go it. Or maybe they have an ADC that can kind of just avoid you really hard like an Apollo, so you don't really want to go Thorns against him. Something like that, That's stuff to think about, but yeah, that is Rat. And then coming in at number 1, the character I've been enjoying a ton is Camazotz. I have 2 builds that you can do on Camazotz that are really good right now. First one being, why do I keep doing that? I'm just an idiot, dude. First one being pretty standard. Camazotz specifically, I would go Shifters on. I think just with all of his abilities and all of his scaling, Shifters is pretty nice, and it just kind of makes really a lot of sense on him, especially with his auto attacks, because you hit a lot of auto attacks on Kama. So if you have the extra power from Shifters and you actually hit your Echo and catch it, you hit so hard with your autos. He's one character I also would go into Ansile, because sometimes you don't really want to go Shifter straight into Ansile in solo lane, just because if you're fighting with the enemy solo, he's going to hit you really hard and probably outtrade you, just because you don't have any extra health and you barely have any like physical protections for the most part. So That's what I would do. And then I would go 4th item CAD shield, pretty standard across the board. Upgrade your bluestone you can. I personally like to go either Heartseeker. Your 3 options for your last item usually are going to be a damage item, right? Either go Heartseeker, Erendite, or Bloodforge. I actually really like Bloodforge on Kama. Allows you to like survive a little bit longer in the team fight, especially if you get a last hit, which a lot of times you do. If you get a last hit in your ult, you'll come down with a shield, which is really nice. The 75 power is good for diving people late game and just out trading them. The lifesteal you get from this plus CAD shield is a combo, plus your passive, and you just heal a ton. So usually I like to go Heartseeker or Bloodforge, and then I sell my boots for whatever I need. If they have a crit ADC, which they most likely will, then you want to go Spectral and have that for him for the late game so you can dive him. And then this would be the full build. And of course, upgrade your bluestone to the bluestone brooch. The other option I have for Kama is rushing boots. So you rush boots, right? You go tier 2 boots, chalice, and your extra multi-pots or whatever. Then you go warrior tabi. You go a pretty similar build where you go shifters. You go shifters Ansile. But the thing is, you're going to be going Boombas later on in the build. And you want to have that CAD shield so you can increase your Boombas heals. But the only difference in the builds is that you'd be going Boombas hammer here, and then rounding out the build with pretty much whatever you need. Spectral is almost always the best item here, and then you can sell your boots for something like Bloodforge, I think. And this would be the full build. Very similar build, but the only difference is that you don't have bluestone, so you just replace it with Boombas hammer. And this is actually an insane build on him. You can go TP with this, TP Blink. If they don't have a lot of CC, just go TP Blink, and it really won't matter that much. You're just gonna kind of, you know, survive the laning phase, get to that Boombas a lot quicker, and it's gonna be really good for that. But if they have a ton of CC and you feel like you're not gonna be able to do much even with your full build late game, if they just CC you out and kind of focus you, then you can go Blink Beads. The only thing I'd say is if you're rushing boots, it's gonna be a little bit awkward when you have tier 2 boots and you're gonna have to back for that. Just try and get enough pressure on that 2nd or 3rd wave so you can back for full boots. You'll miss a few minions when you come back to the lane, but you're kind of playing for the late game anyway with this build and having these items. And Kama can survive the early to mid game. He just can hyper farm and you not really get bullied out, so that is definitely an option. So yeah, these 2 builds I would go on Camazotz. They are both very, very fun. So that is my top 5 characters to play right now and their builds. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, maybe not necessarily the best gods. They're definitely viable, especially with these builds that I've shown you. And you know, you may not have the fun with the characters that I showed you. You maybe enjoy some other characters, and that's fine. But if you want to, if you're looking to try some stuff out, definitely look at these. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and healthy as always. Peace out. Peace soup. Peace soup.